We got the Showdown in the Badlands, a Druid set here, and holy cow, it's one of those sets where one class gets like everything in a package, where they don't divvy it up into 2 or 3 packages. Everything is in one package, and that package is Highlander Druid. Highlander Dragon Druid, even. We want to start off, therefore, with the Highlander card, Raza. 8 mana, 8/8 legendary. The reason you might actually want to play a Highlander deck in standard, Battle Cry, if your deck has no duplicates, summon the Purified Dragon Nest. Raza is a dragon. What is the Purified Dragon Nest? Well, it's a 1-card win condition here, Raza. Once you summon Raza, you get the Purified Dragon Nest alongside it, and then at the start of your turn, you get to discover a dragon. It costs 4 less, providing you with infinite value as well as strong tempo because you get a 4-mana every turn, as well as constant cards, and also a lot of dragons are big, so you could therefore get more dragons. By the way, I believe, haven't heard anything to the contrary, that Purified Dragon Nest, I mean, Raza is a dragon, so you could probably discover Raza, right? Unless that's specifically against the rules, and then you have 2 Purified Dragon Nests, getting you 2 dragons each turn. Subject to, I don't know if that's possible. But hey, even if you can't do that, 1 a turn, that's pretty sweet. This is what's needed to make a Highlander deck work in order to not have just put in the best cards. You needed a big payoff, and this is a big payoff. That's a win condition right there. Wow. Okay, so we start off with saying, hey, if there's enough Highlander good cards, then we could use Raza here. So what do we have? But we have a bunch of good cards from Druid. We have a general theme of dragons. There is an idea as well that maybe Dragon Druid could work. I personally don't think it'll work, but let's just take a look at all of them. We got Dragon Tails. Choose one. Get 2 random dragons that cost 5 or less, or get 2 that cost more than 5. This is a card. 2 mana, draw 2. Pretty solid. Certainly good enough to make a dragon deck. Certainly good enough to make the Dragon Highlander deck. And solid overall card, which is exactly what you want in a Highlander deck. You want a solid card, and that's it. Splish Splash Whelp. 2 mana, 2/1 dragon. Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, gain an mana crystal. This is a big reason to play dragons. It's a 2 mana Wild Growth, when Wild Growth used to cost 2. Plus, you get a 2/1 with it. Very, very good. This is a reason where you'd want to play an actual dragon deck, where you'd want 2 copies of Whelps and even dragons. But probably good enough to just run one of a Highlander deck. Strong card, strong effect. Take to the Skies. 3 mana, draw 2 dragons, give them +1/+1. A solid card to get more cards, and you get +1/+1s with it. It's nice. Solid in a dragon deck, and probably a 1 of in the Highlander deck. More on that a bit later. Desert Nest Matron. 4 mana, 3/5 dragon. Taunt Battlecry. If you're holding a dragon, refresh 4 mana crystals. So if you're holding a dragon on turn 4, then you can have a 0 mana 3/5 with Taunt. Great! Big reason to play a dragon deck. Big reason to run a dragon package. Very good. Spinetail Drake. 4 mana, 5/4 dragon. Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, deal 5 damage to an enemy minion. Wow, that's really good. Really, really good. Another big reason to run a dragon deck, because deck, a good card, but also just a good card in a Highlander dragon package, which again I think will be the way to go. Despite all of these cards being good, now if you start running 2 of and you start making a dragon deck, yeah, all the cards are slightly above average, but a bunch of cards that are slightly above average, I don't think that'll work. So cool dragons. I think it'll make the Highlander package and make the Highlander package better, but a dragon deck by itself, You got Dragon Golem, big payoff for dragons, 7 mana, 3/4 dragon. Taunt Battlecry, summon a copy of this for each dragon in your hand. The dream is you would have 7 dragons and Dragon Golem in your hand. Dragon Golem, you get 7 3/4s with taunt. Actually, the real dream is you drew a Dragon Golem with take this guys, gives it +1/+1, and then you summon a field of Yetis with taunt. That is a win condition against a number of decks. Just have this summon a bunch of things. Reminds me of, oh, holy cow, I know this one. You know, the 6 mana Spreading Plague. 6 mana to summon a bunch of 1/5s, or win back in the day. 5 mana at one point. But the point is, it has Spreading Plague vibes. It's stronger than Spreading Plague, but costs 7 mana. And in this day and age, you know, Spreading Plague is a cool card. Definitely encourages you to run a lot of dragons. I'm not sure if this card makes it into the Highlander dragon deck, because you won't have that many dragons. And then you have the other dragon legendary, 9 mana, 4/12, Phi, the Setting Sun. Rush Lifesteal Taunt costs 1 less for each dragon you've summoned this. So, how much would make this card good? Like, how much would this have to cost? 6, I'd say. You get a Rush Lifesteal Taunt, so that means you have to summon 3 dragons by the setting. So I therefore believe this will go into a dragon deck as well as a Highlander dragon deck, because summoning 3 is fine. And in a Highlander dragon deck, you're going for the late game. So yeah, you want the lifesteal guy, you want the big taunt guy, you want the stabilized guy. Great card. So bunch of good dragons. We'll take a look at the other 2 Druid cards. But yeah, 8 dragons dedicated to the dragon package. That is enough to move the needle and actually make a deck that didn't have anything going for it prior to actually have something going for it. I've got some neutral cards even to go with it in case 8 class cards weren't enough. You got the Whelp Wrangler, mana 2/3, which gets you a Whelp in hand each turn, so that's good for all your dragon hold. Card that rewards you with taunt for each dragon in hand. And you've got what I thought was a good independent card, but a dragon, and that's actually going to matter. Sunspot Dragon, which has 6 mana, 6/6 lifesteal, which deals 6 damage the turn you draw it. Not even the turn you draw it, the turn you generate it, perhaps. There's dragon generators out there. Sunspot Dragon is going to be a great card to generate, because play it, you gain 6 health, you deal 6 damage, you get a 6/6, which has lifesteal. Solid stuff. One of the decks that I'm excited to try out on Theorycraft Day. I mean, look at it. It's infinite value. You gotta love it. How do you not like that? Also good in a Highlander Druid deck. You just want, you know, good cards that are generally above average. Cactus Construct is a generally good card above average. You might need some cards to survive in the early dragon deck. 1 mana, spell. Discover a 2-cost minion. Summon a 1/2 copy of it. So it's a 1 mana 1/2, but it'll get the ability of whatever the 2 cost was. So nice. That is a fun, solid card. Is slightly above average, which might just be good enough. And then you've got this card. I hate ending it on Rehydrate, but remember to hydrate. 2 mana, nature spell, restore 7 health, quick draw, refresh 2 mana. Probably mostly going to be randomly generating cards or discovering cards, and you get the Rehydrate. You certainly don't want to put the 2 mana, restore 7 health into your deck. The quick draw on this is especially bad because sometimes you'll draw it and then you get full health. Will end up being, in the late game, 2 mana, restore 7, which is so bad. Anyways, Rehydrate, not good, but everything else, good. Potentially viable in a dragon deck. I personally don't think a dragon deck will be good, even though there are good dragons. Where I think the money's at is the Highlander dragon deck with Raza. Wow. Infinite dragons, 1 each turn. So good. That's value. Full direction for Druid. Love it. Next up, gonna be Mage.